Uh, Alright. So, by the way, yes, my mic holder today is like this flip-flop sandwich thing. So I was supposed to make this video last week, but my schedule turned out to be busier than I thought it was. So, it didn't go well. At all. I actually first saw this movie last week, so I thought I'd make a review. I was gonna make a review when it was still pretty fresh in my brain. And to be fair, it is still. It was only like a week ago when I saw it, opposed to a few days when I was originally gonna make the video. But it didn't go well, ran out of time. I'm like, okay, I'll make it for this week's video instead. So, Black Widow. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I waited to talk about it. Not because my feelings about the movie have changed at all, looking back at it, but because, I'm starting to see other reviewers' opinions. And Nick saw the movie, and he, I now know his opinion on the movie. And I think he liked it overall, but he definitely wasn't like, he didn't like a lot of parts. For me, I got all dressed up to talk about this movie, because I got a new suit jacket anyway, so. Wearing my favorite tie that doesn't fit me anymore. It's fine. So, I like this movie, kind of a lot. And if you've seen my, what was that review called? If you've seen my video that was top 10 most anticipated films of the year, you know that I talked about in that thing that I was excited for this movie, but my excitement level had dropped a lot from when it first, had been announced. So, here's the thing about it, alright? This is a movie I did not know I needed. I didn't know. Because going in, I thought, it was going to be kind of a prequel. So, this isn't really a spoiler, but this movie is set directly after the events of Captain America Civil War, and it leads right into, basically leads into Infinity War. So, and then there's also some post-Endgame MCU stuff, for post-credit scenes and stuff, which is pretty interesting, but I'm not going to talk about that. Or if I do, it'll be pretty vague. This movie it almost blew me away, because Marvel movies lately, while still amazing, have kind of had a formula. And I don't know, it's just because I've only been seeing the shows lately, or it's just a bit of oversaturation, but there's definitely been a formula. And this movie was... I just realized I don't have the mic plugged in. So, I don't need this. Oh god. I mean, the in-camera audio is fine. It's not bad, I've actually been having problems with that mic anyway, so that'll make editing easier, I guess. This movie was incredibly different, and one of the ways I want to, show true evidence to that fact is this movie has something, I don't know if we have seen, it's definitely been a while. This movie had its own, opening credits, score, intro, basically. It was, I believe it was a Cranberries song, that was playing over footage and, images, and it had basically, an intro. And that thing, it just kind of cemented that there was going to be a vibe for the whole movie. And this movie, it works in a few ways. Alright, so it starts as a flashback sequence telling a bit of an origin story. More flashbacky stuff is revealed throughout the movie, but it's not a lot. Most of it follows kind of this family reunion between Black Widow and her sister and their father, who aren't. None of them are actually related, so there's that. But well, I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but they have kind of a family dynamic because of certain things. First of all, if you haven't seen this movie, you should absolutely go see it. Excellent, excellent film. But seeing that intro sequence in the film, after the whole first bit of flashbacks into this gritty intro sequence that showed, it had footage, and pictures and stuff, and it set a vibe for the movie, because there's some definite dark stuff in this movie. It doesn't get super dark, because obviously it's still technically a Disney movie, but it goes some interesting places. Now, obviously the movie's not with its faults, but I wouldn't say they're big ones. I would say other reviewers may have found bigger problems in this, but when I watched this, there wasn't really much I had a problem with. I was super into the story, I was super into all of it, really. And just because, sure, it's not a perfect film, obviously, but it's so fun. It's so fun, and it was like a breath of fresh air, really. Or at least for me it was. Because it felt different than your massive Avengers crossovers. It was a smaller story. But it still had some really cool MCU connections. And, watching it right after Loki was, pretty interesting. Because they're just kind of polar opposites in their own way. Except Loki has an intro, it's a TV show. But it was a very special experience. So, that being said, if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. Now, I'm going to attempt to delve rather vaguely into spoilers, but the post-credits scene takes place after Captain America, it takes place after Endgame, after the events of Endgame, cough, if you haven't seen Endgame, but Black Widow dies during Endgame. So in the post-credit scene, it involves obviously not her, but it's her sister visiting the grave. And in this scene, it does two really, really great things. It has this post-credit scene where at the end, it really gets you excited, and it gets you, it grabs you, and you want more. But also, it's sowing these seeds that were introduced in, a few things, but I would say pretty prominently in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's sowing those seeds deeper into the more cinematic, the films of the MCU, which I thought it did a really good job of doing. I think it's a post-credit scene that works very, very well. It's not my favorite post-credit scene. That one, there's a lot of good ones, but that one would probably belong to most of the Guardians of the Galaxy ones are good. They're fun. And another one that's just leagues, it's so good, is what is it? Oh, Far From Home. Far From Home has a great post-credit scene. It's pretty intense. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the Far From Home post-credit scene, the next movie won't make a lot of sense. And I'm very excited for that movie. I think it's coming out next year. No, it's coming out in December of this year, but I will definitely be covering. However, I don't have a lot of problems with this movie. I think there was a lot of humor in it, which I really liked, and the humor worked pretty well, actually. Both actors and actresses did a good job. It was a very interesting movie, and it felt different than a lot of what the MCU has been putting out lately. And that's really what I liked the most about it. It was kind of a side story. Taskmaster was kind of interesting. I feel like they could have done a bit more with Taskmaster, but they were pretty cool. Yeah. overall, I really liked the movie. Really liked, seeing MCU films on the big screen again. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And I have some good news. Because as you may have noticed, if you watch, our videos somewhat regularly, but I make pretty much all of them. And this channel started out as kind of a group video thing. Now, Nick finally got his own computer for editing. He's had a computer, but he got a nice computer that he can actually edit on finally. So that was excellent. That's obviously excellent. And so he'll probably have some content of his own that he'll be putting up. I know he's got some stuff he wants to make, and because he's got his own camera, so hopefully you'll see more of that in the future. And yeah, I hope you all have an excellent day. And yeah, go watch Black Widow. Watch, I forgot to give it a number rating. It's a toppy. It's a solid movie. As far as critically rating it, it's probably like an 8. But as far as my enjoyment levels, I'd say I enjoyed it closer to like a 9 or 8.5. Because it was just a lot of fun. And it felt different, which I liked. But yeah, if you liked this, then consider subscribing, liking, doing all the fancy stuff that helps me grow, because I want to have more than 26 subscribers, which I think is my most accurate count at the moment. So yeah, now without further ado, Die. Yeah, man, it was a good movie.